Barakta Yahweh, Barakta Shai, Barakta Yahweh, Barakta Shai, Barakta Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Grimmy Stone Rule Well, to the Akir and the Falcons of the Earth, Shalom, to the Alquet, sincerely holding on to this truth, this last days and times, walking through this straight gate, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. So I'm just going to go straight into this brief topic about the financial prowess of the beast. Yeah, and when you study history, you could tell that London, England, is that haven of this financial elites, these big bankers. They're doing big things, with the influences that they are able to acquire. All right, and they're moving with so much secrecy that it's hard to keep up with them. But whatever little information or crumbs live out there, it's enough, to get a whole picture of their dealings. All right. So, their whole scheme as per the city of London and the Greater London and all that stuff. Hey, that's how they operate. All right, and their whole agenda, to have the World Bank, the IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, and all these central banks across the world. It just shows you that they understand the value of finances, the value of liquidity and the value of debt, and how they can manipulate, the populations of the world to their own will. All right. So I'm going to read a quick precept, and it's going to be from the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 3. All right. So it says this: And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. Yep. So that represents, the embodiment of EU and NATO. Right. 7 heads, that represents the EU, and 10 horns represents NATO. And what you have in the news, the issue between the dragon and the bear. All right, and then you also have the eagle in there too. All right, so that's basically the 10 horns. The 10 horns having a so-called discussion with the bear, and eventually, all those negotiations gonna break down. They're gonna go to war against each other, and that's what they plan. They've tested it, World War One and World War Two, so they have to pull the same old tricks, So I'm gonna read some extra precepts from the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 11. All right, and then it's what it says: And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. So that's talking about America. All right, because America came out of Great Britain. All right, and it's basically doing the will of the so-called elites, and America is the military powerhouse, the muscle of the beast. If the EU don't want to do it themselves, they get America to do it. And that's the plan. That's how they work. And when it comes to subversion and corrupting the knowledge of the scriptures, that's the specialty of the so-called Roman Catholic Church. And the influences, is observed throughout the whole earth. You could tell, the stubbornness of that organization by them refusing to acknowledge the word of the Lord in its entirety, and the whole idea is to get as many people as they can to bow the knee to the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns, and to take that mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. So that's exactly what they're doing. The so-called leaders of this world that caught up in that web, be surprised. The level of corruption and blackmail and plans that they have, to come against the words of Hamashiach Yahushua. They're basically trying to prevent prophecy from taking place, but they can't. And the servants of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, the men out there on the highways and byways preaching this word in sincerity and truth, pulling down these strongholds, and these elites are upset. That's why they get their minions to attack brothers' channels, slanders and censorship and all that stuff. You just have to understand the nature of the beast that you are confronting with the word of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. All right? So you're confronting the image of the beast with the image of Hamashiach Yahushua. So expect tension, expect the pushback, all right? And that's what all these mandates are about, man. They keep pushing on the people, they're pushing people so hard. People are upset. People are reaching their breaking points. Children are just snapping here and there. That's why, you gotta pray the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, keep your foundation, which is your faith in Hamashiach Yahushua, stable, all right? So I'm going to read from the book of Job, all right? The book of Job, chapter 20, verse 15. So it says this concerning the elites of this world, especially the dragon, the EU, okay? It says, he has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. All right? So all the plunder of resources, precious treasures they've garnered unto themselves, over centuries, the Most High is going to snatch that out of their bosom. When their power structure is totally eradicated from the face of the earth. All the gold, all the silver, all the precious metals, all the things of important value to the Lord. The Lord is going to let them, bring it up from where they've hidden it, and that's what's going to happen. Their captivity is almost around the corner. The captivity of these super elites. The scripture tells you about that. All right. So, they're enjoying right now, oppressing the world through their financial instruments and institutions, and they're using the so-called agencies to do their will. All right. So another precept you'd like to look into will be from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 5. It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of their riches. So when they control the Panama Canal, they control the Suez Canal, what do you expect to happen? They're gonna get rich, you know, rich day and night. Look, countries are in debt in the billions, and the so-called corrupt leaders just want to go along with the flow and enjoy the trappings of the serpents, you know. So it's only a matter of time to the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. Consumes their power, all right? And it's going to be a beautiful sight, to see the deliverance of the elect of the Israelites. That's the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, all right? And it's going to be a beautiful thing to behold, all right? And then verse 6 says this: Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai Kadash, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of our God. Yeah, so it's going to be messed up, man. It's going to be a messed up situation, for the EU and more specifically America, all right? So it says, Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Yep. So America is on its way out, man. Once they go into that real conflict with Russia, Iran, and China, and Syria, it's going to be the point of no return. That's downwards. That's the bottom of the drain, for the American empire. Because the American empire is the empire of the so-called British, So, end of the day, the Lord has allowed these chaotic events to happen, because there's so much money in Esau's financial system that they're able to bribe politicians, able to spend as much as they can to have their influences, considered and written into law. So it's very, very, very important to watch this video. It's on the Timeline World History Documentary channel on YouTube. It's an excellent source of information. You just got to, take the meats and throw away the bones, man. It's very, very good to check out what information they have on this channel. All right. So another precept will be from the book of Job, Job chapter 27, and you read from verse 16 to verse 17. It says, Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. All right. So whatever they've heaped up for these last days, it's basically going to be trinkets for us in the kingdom. We're going to use that to decorate, the kingdom of heaven that will be on earth, very soon. Because these super elites, they got vaults and vaults and vaults of treasures, man. Man, vaults and treasures. You're not really going to see it on the news. You may see the so-called Queen of England, walking around her so-called bullion reserves of gold. You hear about, important treasures being auctioned off and all that stuff to a secret buyer. Yeah, so that's how they make money, and that's how they generate wealth, by going for the treasures of the earth and manipulating the policies and laws to their own benefit. All right. So it's very, very important, to watch this video. It's how Britain's bankers made billions during the from the end of the empire. All right. So just check it out to understand, how the Lord has set up this elites to be rich and how he's preparing to take them down. All right. So one more precept and that's it. So it's going to be from the book of Revelation, chapter 18. I'm going to read, if I don't know what, I read from verse 9. So this is the demise of Esau's empire, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. All right. So once America is on its way down, and it's already down, destroyed through the will of the Lord, all the so-called elites of the world are going to be upset and nervous, wailing, and, they're going to have nights of sleeplessness, man. Nights of sleeplessness. All right? And lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Yeah, because they're going to cry because the war didn't go according to their plans. Since the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, decided to show up at his fateful time and destroy their plans, man. Because the chariots are just going to destroy, America. There's certain places on the face of the earth they're going to attack too. All right. So, and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Okay? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. So all these big bankers and all these captains of industries that are washing cash and wealth, they're going to be upset because their model of staying in power, of having their empire, has been completely altered, turned to ashes, turned to dust. All right. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and oil and all tine wood and all manner of vessels and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Yeah, so that's a lot. And if I skip down to verse 16, it says, And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company of ships, all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Yeah. So once America goes down, that's the end of the British Empire. That's the end of all the empires on the face of the earth. Because there's so much money that flows through the system of America's financial structure. All right. So all those secrecy, uh, that they use to hide their wealth. It's going to be of no use because the Lord is going to tear that apart, you know, and that's going to be the end of the super elite of this world. You know, the financial powerhouse of the world is basically going to go from riches to rags in 1 hour. All right. So that's the point there, Akim. Just go along and check out the channel. You know, how British bankers made billions from the empire. You know, it's so much, you know, from the end of empire. But the British Empire never really ended. It just took on a different form, you know, through the banking system, you know. So that's one of the so-called unclean spirits, you know, that was mentioned in the Book of Revelation, you know. So the British represents the financial system, and the America, the military system of the beast, and then the Roman Catholic Church, aka Rome, represents the indoctrination system, you know. And hey, that's how Amalek gets down. He has to manipulate all three to stay in power. So Abarataza, you know, we continue to stay vigilant in these last days. Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash. Shalom.